So in this DAX function second session, we'll see some more basic functions. Today I'll just teach you some very simple things, that is some information formulas. This might be useful or not useful, so that is left to you how you will be using it, but still good to know. Information formulas means it will just give me some information. Say in this case, I have this is even, is odd, is text, is non-text, or is number, or is error. So this will actually help me in getting the result. Say for example, if I say is even, if the number is even, it will say true, otherwise it will say false. Same applies to this, is odd, is even. This will be very useful, these two things, when we are actually doing some calculations. So sometimes I'm not getting a proper calculation, then I want to know whether it is a text or a number, then I can use these kind of functions. All right, let's go and see these functions. So I have taken a very less data today so that it will not slow down our process. So let me go to this table and I'll get this data. So I've taken a very less data for today's calculation. Let's take this sales and check whether it is even or odd or number or text or whatever. Let's take this new column. And then I'll go here. I'll say function is text. I'll say is text. And then I'll take this value. I'll say sales, close bracket, and it will give me true or false. If it is a text, then it will be as a true, otherwise it will be as a false. Right. Next we'll say is number, and we'll go here, say new column. I will say is number, then say sales. So it will show me true or false like this. Let's say even or odd. Go to this new column, and here I'll say function is even. Is even, I'll take it as sales, close bracket. So wherever we have even number, I'll get true. Wherever it is odd, it will give me false. So if you go see, it says true, that means it's a even number. Wherever it is false, it will say it is odd number. Let's try is odd. It's just reverse of it. Function is odd. So is odd sales. Right. So I'll get the reverse of is even. So is even, is odd, it will just give me whether it is a even number or odd number. Right. Now let's go here. We have some more functions, that is non-text, that is for alphanumeric values. You can check is logical, whether it is, suppose if you have true or false here only, then you can check that whether the logical values, it is a logical value or not. Is error, if there is any error, you can just go and you can check the error as well. So I'll not again do all these things, it's just you can go and check this. Let's not waste much time in these functions, but I'm just showing you these are the important functions. You can work on this, otherwise these things you can just try out. Anyways, I've sent you this text file. But let's come to this one, measure. This is very important chapter for us, or say the functions for us. Why these measures are used, what is these measures, and how these measures are used. So this one I'll explain slowly, so that you guys can understand it completely. As I told you, all this time we used to work on these columns. say when I'm working on this column, that means a new column was getting created in my table. But what will happen is when I'm actually using these columns, say when I'm trying to get some results, say sales divided by profit, I'll get it individually. And then if you want to create a report, so it will combine all those things, it will aggregate that, and then I'll get the reports. Let's try this. Let me go here. I'll create one column, say new column. So I want the result like this. Say profit percent. So we'll take like this, say profit divided by sales. Now if I say enter, I'll get some results here. Let me go back and try to create one report, say by this region. By selecting this region, and then I'm taking this profit percent. So if you go and check this, let me just increase the font size. Let me increase some more. All right. Now, if you say this, say it says minus 241.76. Suppose if I convert this into percentage, this one, right? So what will happen? This will be like, into 100. So suppose if this is getting converted to percentage, so what will happen is this percentage is actually getting added each values, and then I'm getting the percentage. But what I actually need is first the value should get aggregated, that is all the sales should get aggregated, and then it has to do the calculation. But here what's happening, the calculation is happening in the beginning, and then while adding the values here, when it is getting aggregated, it is actually getting aggregated when it is first getting calculated and adding all the percentages. But what I actually need, say for central, all the profit should be aggregated divided by all the aggregated sales value. Then only I should get this result. So to do these kind of things, then I'll be using this measure. So measures are actually used to do the calculation while I'm dragging and dropping. But I'll be using this column so that I'll get the column values directly here. Right. So now what we'll do is we'll go and see how we can create these measures. And again, I'm telling you, these measures will not have a physical column here. That means it will not have a column generated here. So it will be like a calculation which will actually have the values in a column, but it will appear only when I drag and drop. Right. Let's come back here. Now, usually these measures are created for aggregations, the aggregating of the values. Let's say new measure. A new measure will be created like this, see, a new measure, and then I'll go here, let's say function sum. Now I'll say sum of sales, close the bracket, and I'll say enter. Now I'll get this column, but you cannot see that column here in the table. How this will work, let's go here. I'll take one more table here, say region, and I'll put it here. And then let me take this measure values. You can see that the icon actually changes something like a calculator. Now let me select here and I'll say sum. I'll get the sum. Let me increase the font. Right. Okay. Now I'm getting this result. Now let me remove this region and I'll take some other column. I have only region here. I have this state. Let me remove this region and I'll take this state. Now here the aggregated values is for each state. See, now the aggregation of the values here, it gets changed because I have a different column here. So depending on the columns what I'm taking here the aggregation also changes. Let's go and see some more examples like this. Let's say I'll go here and I'll take average. Next what I'll do, I'll go here and say new measure. Function will say average. So here it will say average of sales. Close bracket, say end. Now I got this function average here. Now I cannot see that column here. Now if you want to get the result here, I'll go here and then I'll take this average. Say here, just take this average. I'll get the average of each state. Now let me go here, I'll remove this state and then I'll take this region. See, now what average I'm getting here is for each region. So this aggregation will be keep changing. But suppose if I'm doing the same thing with the column, so what will happen here, when it is actually taking the values, it will aggregate the values. Means first it will do the calculation and then it will give me the aggregation. Now suppose if I take this average of this, so the average will be within this column only. Then when it is adding, what will happen, it will add every single values. Right, I'll show you that how you can actually use this percentage what we have done here. The same thing I'll show after learning some more measures. Right, next one we have this count and count A. So count again, it's for numbers which I can count, and count A is for alphanumeric. Let's go here. Let's say I want to count. Go here, say new measure. Say function count. Let's say count of sales. Right, see I have the count here. Let me go back. I'll take this count. Let me select this table. Then I'll click on this count. So it will give me the counts here. Now let's take count A. Function count A. Let's go here. Say count A. And then we'll take say region itself. Close bracket and say enter. In this case, it will give me the same results because I'm just trying to count this region itself. So I'll go here. I'll click on this count A. See, count and count A actually are used for counting depending on the columns what I'm specifying. So again, just see here, I'm not having any of these measures in this column. And this will actually calculate when I'm dragging and dropping here. Fine. Next we'll see count blanks. Suppose if you want to count any blanks, so if this count and count here will not count blanks. So when I go here, if you want to count blank, then it will give me the number of blanks in that column. So in this case, I think I'll get zeros because there are no blanks here. Let me go and check. So there are no blanks. It will get 0, but still, I'll just work on that. Let's go here and I'll say new measure. Function count blanks. Say count blanks. You can take any rows here, any columns here. Say same. Take it as region and say enter. Let's go and check this. Count blanks. Let me just click on this. See, I'm not getting any values. That means it is 0. So there are no blanks here, right? Okay. Now suppose if you want to count rows, the number of rows, okay? So you can count the number of rows as well. So here we'll go here. So again, it will be giving me the same numbers what we have for count here and count here, because we don't have any blanks. Suppose if I'm taking this count rows, and if you want to have this count, then I can use this count rows, so that it will give me the number of rows it is repeating. Say for example, I have this region, all the values, and somewhere in the sales I have blanks. Still I can use this count rows and I can get the results. That is, it will count even the blanks as well. It is just like, it is showing me the number of rows here. So don't get confused with count and count A and count rows. So count rows will give me the rows. Count or count A will give me the number of cells what we have taken here. So if suppose, let's say for example, I have some values here, I have blank here, so this will not be counted when I'm using count and count A. But suppose if I'm using count rows, even this will be counted, because it is actually a row. Okay, so I'll go here, I'll use this count rows now. Table, new measure. Say count rows. Count rows of series. You can take any column. Like this. Table. Say net. So it will give me the number of rows. Right? Count rows. Go here. And then I'll take this. Is that count rows? This one. Let me just increase this so that I'll get the full name here. Let me click on this table, and then I'll click on this count rows. So I'll get here. Since I don't have any blanks here, so all these count A and count rows will give me the same result here. Fine. Next is distinct count. The distinct count means the distinct. Say for example, in this case, I'm taking this count. When I'm taking this region, so what will happen is you take any of the values, so it will give me this result. That means how many times this is repeating. Now what I want is, in each region, let's go to this table. See, in each region, these states are getting repeated multiple times. Say in this region West, this California is repeating multiple times. So totally it has got some 9,994 records. But what I want is, in this region, how many unique states are there? That means if I go here and if I select this central and say OK, so if I go and see here, say I'll be having very few unique states. So I want to know the unique states. So distinct means unique. So in this case, I should not use count, I'll use distinct count. So what this distinct count will do, it will give me the unique values in that particular column. But when I'm giving this distinct count, I should give to the particular column where I'm actually taking the values. Say for example, in this region, I want to know how many distinct states are there. So what I have to do, I have to use distinct state. Let me go here and I'll say tools, new measure. and we'll take distinct count. Function distinct count. Say distinct count, and then we'll select state. Say enter. All right, let's go to the table now. Now here what I'll do, I'll go and I'll take this distinct count. So select the table and say distinct count. See, here I have totally 49 states. In that, in central I have 13, in east I have 14, so south 11 and west 11. So it is giving me the distinct count. Suppose if I would have just taken count or say count rows or whatever, this count A, so what it will do, it will give me the number of times this say region is repeating. Now suppose if I take the say state and if I put it here, it will give me as 1 1 1 1 here, because in one state it will be the same state value what I'm trying to count. But if I'm taking any other columns, in that column how many states are unique, so that is what I'll be getting here. So when I'm using this distinct count, make sure that on which column you're actually trying to take the distinct count, then only this will work. Otherwise, if you're taking distinct count as say a region, in this case if I would have taken distinct count as region, then I'll be getting only one. So one the result will be like 1. Okay, here. So you have to give the particular column which one you're actually trying to count. So this is distinct count. Next one we have min and max. When I say min and max, it will give me in that selected column what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value. Let's go here and I'll say pick measure. Say function max. Say max of, it lasts for the column. So what we'll do, we'll say sales. Close bracket. And we'll take this min also so that we can have both together. Take this function min. Min of, I'll say sales. Close bracket, enter. So we have taken this max and min. So in this table we'll try to pull those two values. Right. Let me take this table and I'll put it here so that I can stretch this. Right. Now we'll take this max and min. So here in this region, so this will be the maximum value and the minimum value. So these are the aggregated functions which we use it for measure. So always when you have this aggregated values to be calculated, then I can use this measure. Now I was talking about this one. Say if it is in a percentage, what will happen? It will become like 2400 change something percentage, because what it is doing, it is calculating and then it is aggregating. But for me, what I want is, say in this case, let me just take the sum and then the profit sum. Let me just take directly. Just increase this. We'll take the sales and then I'll take this profit. right? Now if I go and check this, so I'm getting this minus 241.76. So here what actually I need is this value divided by this sales. So if I'm doing this, I'll not get this much of percentage. Now let's go back to this percentage what we have calculated. See this one, I'll just show you. I'll just change this to percentage. Let me select this and we'll say, yeah, just change this. Okay. See, it says 17,301.56 percentage. And here there are so many different, thousands of percentages coming. How it is coming actually is, it is trying to add the values. So let me go here. See here, profit divided by sales, I'm getting some percentage. But when I'm actually taking this region wise, let's say I'll take this central and say, okay, so what it is doing is, while giving the result, it is adding all these percentage values and then it is giving me the aggregated values like this. But this is not what I need. So what I actually need is, the total profit, the total sum of this profit of say central divided by the total sum of sales. So that is how I actually get the results here. That is this profit value divided by this sales value, or any columns whatever I'm taking. So that aggregated values should give me the percentage value. So how to do this? Now we have done one, that is profit percentage, that is by creating this as a column. Now what we'll do, we'll see how we can do the same thing with measure. Let me go here. I'll say new measure, and I'll take this, say profit percent, I'll give it as measure. Now here we'll say sum of profit divided by sum of sales. Now what will happen here is, it will take the total sum of profit divided by the total sum of sales. Let's say enter. I'll get the calculation here. Let me go back to my table. Now here what I'll do, I'll just try to take that column. So here I have this profit percentage measure. Let me click here. Select this and let's change the data type. Click on this percentage. Now if you see, I'm getting a different kind of percentage here. That means this profit value divided by this sales value, that is aggregated values. But if you see here, I'm getting 70,301.56 percentage. Now here the difference between this and this column is, here it is aggregating and then doing the calculation, that is in measure. Here it is doing the calculation and then aggregating. So you have to decide when I have to use measure and when I have to use this column. So whenever you think that I need a calculation to be done and then aggregating has to be done, then go for columns. Whenever you feel that I should do the calculations and then do first I should aggregate and then do the calculation, then I can go for measure. Usually in a simple way, the measures are actually used whenever I need to aggregate the values. That's all. More information I'll be giving you when you come to this advanced DAX functions, because here you can see something called as quick measure. I'll just click on this. I'll not teach you anything here. It is just to create a quick measure, but if you see that there will be a lot of things which will get added automatically, but for that you should know more other functions which I'll be teaching you in the coming sessions. When I click on this quick measure, so whatever you have done here, the simple things, so there I'll get so many other functions like filters. I'll just show you one, but don't think too much about this. So it will give me a window. See, here it will ask for a calculation. So I can use all these calculations here, right? Let's say we'll take one simple things here. Say addition. It will ask for the base value to add. So let's say I'll take the base value as sales. Okay, let me just drag this and put it here. It will ask for what aggregation I need. So here I can say sum, average, minimum, whatever we have done now. You can just take that. Here it says value to add. I'll go here. Let me take this region and I'll put it here. Okay. So here, okay, let it be. Just any calculation I'm just trying to take. I'll say okay. So it is processing that measure. Go and check this. See here, sales plus count region. So let me just click on this. It will give me that formula here. See, it will be something like this. So you can still filter something and so many things you can do here. So it will be keep getting added like this. Okay. So these things I'll tell you after learning few more functions in this DAX. So for that, let's have some two more sessions of different topics, and then again I'll come back to this and I'll walk you through this quick measure. Okay. But again, so whatever I've given now the list, please practice that so that it will become easy for you to work on the advanced level of DAX functions. Right. So these are the measures what we have. Okay. Fine. Next, formatting of the columns. Say I have some values. So just now I was trying to convert that into percentage or say, few other formats. Let's go back. Let me take a different page so that we can have different calculations here. Right. I want to format the columns. Let's say I have the sales. First, let's do the formatting of the numbers and then we'll go for date. I want to format this. That is in say 1000 separators, or I want only one decimals, right? So for that, we have something called as predefined formats, or we have some formats which we can do automatically here. So for example, we'll go with the predefined formats. We have something called as general number, percentage, or standard. Let's try this general. So general number, whatever the values are there, it'll just convert that into general number. That is, it'll not have 1000 separators or something. It'll just have a general way of showing the number. First, let's convert this into say 1000 separator, and that number we'll try to put this as general number because this already it's in the format of general number. So what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll say column. Now I have to use column because you're applying to the whole column here. Now I'll say format, say standard. I have to use format. It lasts for the value, I'll say sales, comma. It lasts for the format, I'll say standard. This is predefined. Enter. See? But keep in mind, can you see this? I have 1000 separator here. This will get converted as a text. You can see the alignment here. See, here the sales is something like this. Here this will get something like this. That is as a text. And you can see the 1000 separators here. Fine. Let's go and see how I can convert this into percentage. Now when I say percentage, what will happen is it is like multiplied by 100. Now let's say new column, and then say function, so format percent, say format sales, comma percent. So this will get converted into percentage format. See, the whole column, whatever is there, it will get converted into percentage format. Fine. Suppose if you want to customize, if you want, you can use this general number. When you already have a comma separators, then you can use this general number. So these are actually the predefined. Now let's say I want to customize it. Let's come to this 1000 separator and then we'll come to this percentage. I have a format here, just a simple format for adjusting my decimal numbers. If you want it in single decimal, let's say here I have multiple decimal numbers. I'll try to convert this into single decimal number in a general format, not 1000 separator or anything. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go here, new column, and say function format format, say single decimal format. Will take profit now, comma, just put 0.0. It's a simple standard format. I'll say enter. Whatever value is there here, say 6.8714. That will get converted into single decimal like this. Suppose if you want, well, let me copy the same thing. Say new column, and I'll just paste the same formula here. We'll change the column name. Equals format profit, comma 0.00. That is, I'm giving two decimals. Say enter. Here I have this single decimal, so I'll get two decimals here. Right. So this is for simple formats. Now suppose if you want to have 1000 separators, then I can use something like this. Like in Excel, we use these kind of formats, that is hash, comma, hash, hash 0. So what this will do is it's like a placeholders for the 1000 separators. Let's work on this for 1000 separators. Let's take now sales, because we have thousands here. Here in profit, we don't have this 1000 values. So here we have this 1000 here, so that I can have this 1000 separators here. One is I can use the standard format and I can do, or I can customize it as well. So let me go here. I'll say new column, format, go here, say format, and then I'll take this sales value, comma, and then it asks for the format. I'll say hash, comma, hash 0 dot. Now after this dot, I should specify how many decimal I need. Say 1, it will give me 1 decimal, 2, it will give me 2 decimal. Let me just tell you what is this hash. Hash or 0, this what you see, these are the placeholders for the numbers. And I'm using this comma, that is for the 1000 separators. When I say enter, so I'll get the sales value with 1000 separators like what we have with this standard format. We can use this standard also, or this customization. I'll tell you why these customs are actually used. See here. So here also I have the same result. Fine. Now what will happen is when I have a negative value, okay, let's go here. I'll change this to profit and I'll show you. Say profit, and if I say enter, fine, it will give me the similar kind of result for the profit column. But what I want is the decimal, the negative number, whatever is there, should have a different format. Here, what will happen when I say negative number, that will show as a minus symbol. So if I go here, I just select this, the minus values, see here, it says minus. So we have this minus values, so it will show as minus. So what I want is the minus values, whatever is there, that should be in brackets. So I'm trying to change the format, that is the custom format. So in that case, the standard will not work. The standard will have a standard format, that is minus means minus. But what I want is wherever I have this minus values, so I have to give this open bracket and close bracket. So similarly in Excel, what we do this formatting. So here also we can do the formatting. So how to do that? Let me just say new column. And then I'll try to write the formula. I'll say here format, say negative bracket. Here we'll say format. We'll take profit itself because we have that negative number there. Say profit, comma. Now at last for the format, same format will give hash, comma, hash 0.0. Let's have only one single decimal. Now I put one semicolon here. So whatever comes after the semicolon is for the negative numbers. Let me open the bracket. This is the format for negative number now. I'll say hash, comma, hash 0.0 and close the bracket and put double quote. So this is the format. This is for the positive number and this is for the negative number. I will close the bracket. Say enter. Let's go and check. Here I'll have this negative numbers. See, wherever we have this negative number, that will become brackets. Previously, when I see this negative numbers, if you go and check this, so all the negative numbers were in negative signs. So, okay, here negative symbol. Suppose if I want to see that negative values in this format, that is brackets, then I can use this bracket like this. So I can change this to any formats. Fine. Similarly, I can use the format for percentage as well. Say for example, if I have a negative percentage, then I can use this. See, I've given here, you can try this. Say the positive percentage and or negative percentage. So anywhere if you see this semicolon, that means the first part will be for positive number and the second part is for the negative numbers. So this is how you can format your numbers. Right. Let's go and see how I can format my date. When I say date, here I have this format. So it can be of any formats. So I have one date column here which says order date, and I have the date here. I want to change the format. Here also we have this predefined format. So one is general date, long date, medium date, and short date. Now if you convert this to general date, so it will have a general date, say that is month, day, or year, whatever, different formats. You can also change the formats here, whatever format you want, but this will actually affect this particular column itself. Now suppose if you want to create a separate column, because we are trying to learn how to create the columns here, right? Let me click on this new column. Then go here, say format date, we'll say pre-format 1, right? Say format, then here I'll say value, order date, comma, I'll say general date, say enter. You go and check, see the date will be something like this is the general date. Let's go and check other dates. So I have this medium date, long date, and the short date. Just copying this formula, and then we'll create one new column. And here I'll just change this to long date. Let's change this to free format 2, say enter. See, this is the long date format. Fine. Let's go and see the medium date. Say enter. See, this will be the medium date. The short date will be very similar to your, say, general date itself. So this is the short date, sorry, medium date. The short date will be similar to your general date. Because the columns have become more now, slowly Power BI has become a little slow. Say short date. Enter. So it should have a unique column name. That's why it's giving me the message like that. See, it is very similar to your general data itself, right? Okay. These are actually predefined formats. Suppose if you want to have custom format, then can I use this, say D, M, and Y. So what is D, M, and Y? D, M, and Y is D for date, M for month, and Y for year. When I say D, I'll get only the extraction of single digit day. Then this DD is for double digit day. Here it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it says 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5. And this DDD will give me the weekday, that is SUN, MON, like that. And if I say this 4 days, it will give me the complete weekday, that is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Let's go and check. So we'll see how we can use this custom date format. Okay, let me click on this new column. So I'll get a new column here. Then I'll say format date. The format say order date, comma, at last for format I'll say D, say enter. I'll get only the single digit, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that format. See, let me change the same column itself. I'll make it as D, say enter. I'll get double digit, that is 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 format. See, like this. If I go here and if I say D, 3 Ds, then it will be SUN, MON. Then if I put one more D, then it will give me a complete day here. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in that format. Right. Next, I'll go here. We'll check for month. Format, month. Format, we'll say order date, comma, I'll say M and close the bracket. Now I'll get the single digit month index number, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you put one more M here, then I'll get 2 digits like this. If you put one more M, that is 3M, it will be like Jan, Feb, March in that format. I'll put one more M, I'll get the complete month here. Now suppose if you want to have a year, I'll go here, say new column. And then I'll say format year, format, and then I'll say order date, comma, I'll say YY. I cannot say Y here because we should get the last 2 numbers or 4 numbers. And I say YY, so I'll get the last 2 numbers like this. Suppose if I give 4 Ys, then I'll get a complete year like this. Like this. So suppose if you want to combine all together, that also I can do. Let me go here. That's a new column. Say format. We'll say complete year. Say format. I'll say order date, comma. So I can take the format however I need. Say DD, MMM, YYY, comma. Then again I can use this 4 Ds. Say enter. So I'll get the format what I have mentioned here. So I can change the format of a date or a values or say numbers, that is by using this custom formats. right? So I've given all this here, so you can go through this and you can practice, right? Next one is the conditional statements. Conditional statements, again, it is very similar to our Excel. So here also we have this if condition, and also we have this nested if condition as well. So here we have something called as switch, which is now is there in Excel also. That is in the new version of Excel. We have this switch. So similarly, we have this if conditions of Excel, and we have this switch. I'll tell you what is the switch later. First, we'll understand this conditional statements. We go back. Conditional statement means that is based on some condition I should get the result. Now I'll go here, I'll say new column. I want all the sales. Let's go and check what is the highest value we have here. I think there are some more values, say more than 5,000. I'll just give 2,000 and see. Say function if. Say if, I'll say sales value is greater than 2,000, then we'll say high, else we'll say low. A simple if statement like what we have in Excel. I'll say enter. See, let's go and check. So wherever it is high, that means it is greater than 2,000. If you go and check this, I just filtered high. See, all the values above 2,000 will be high. Now suppose if you want to have a nested if statement, let me copy this. We'll have one more column here. Say new column. And here, something else. So I'll say if sales value is greater than 5,000, then we'll say high. Now suppose if you want to add one more condition here, let's say if sales value is greater than 2,000, then I'll say medium, else we'll say low. Close the bracket. That is, one bracket is for this if statement, another bracket is for this if statement. I'll say enter. So I can have multiple if statement also like this. See, go here, have this medium, low or high. Suppose if I say medium, so it will be with the range of 2,000 to 5,000. If you go and check this, see, like this. So likewise, you can use if statement. So if statement can be used for any condition like what we use in our Excel. Next, we have something called a switch. So I'll tell you what is the switch statement will do. Switch is something like a select case in our the programming language. When I say switch, what it will do is it will just take the value only once. So based on the result what I get in this condition, I can give the results here. Say for example, I'll say weekday. The weekday means what? I'll get the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever. When I say weekday, or we can take month of, so anything, say month of some results, or say any results you take here as a criteria. So based on that result, I'll say this is the result, and if this result is true, then what is the value I should get? If this result is true, then what is the value I should get? Okay, so let me just copy this. I'll put it like this instead of typing and say new column. So I'm just trying to paste it. See, let me change this column because I think weekday of order date. Okay, so we are trying to take the weekday of this order date. So what will happen here? It will go and it will check the weekday of this. So whatever value I'm getting here, so based on that I'll get the result here. Let's say enter. See, based on this date, so I'm getting this result here. I can also use say week, the name, whatever is there, we can get. So I'm just trying to show you how we can get the result by using this say switch statement as well. So switch statement is used to have multiple if conditions. Say here I'm using this. Say if it is greater than 5,000, it should be high. Otherwise, if it is greater than 2,000, it should be medium. So like this, if I'm actually taking multiple if statements, it will be a little confusing. So instead, what I can do is I can use this switch statement so that I can get one result. So out of that one result, whatever is there, the one criteria, so whatever result I'm getting, I'm just trying to use this. So here say switch condition and then the result of this particular thing. So the criteria value and the result, the criteria value and the result. If any of these criteria matches, so I'll be getting these results. Same thing, suppose if I'm using this if statement, what will happen? Say if weekday of this equals 1, then Sunday. Again, one more if it is 2, then Monday. If it is 3, it is Tuesday. So the formula goes on. So instead, what I can do, I can just use the switch and take one criteria value and then say this 1, it should be Sunday, 2, then Monday, 3, Tuesday. So I'm just trying to give the criteria and the criteria value, and if any of this is true, then give me the results here. So that is what we are getting here. So these are some of the DAX functions, that is basic functions, which are similar to your Excel. Apart from this, there are so many other things. Say this is actually for creating columns, tables functions. So there are functions like this. Apart from this, there are many other functions like summarizing the columns and lookup functions. Okay, so those things I'll tell you in our next part of DAX functions. But before that, whatever functions I've given here, please practice all these things and be thorough, so that next when you're actually working on these complex functions, we'll be using with these functions only, and then we'll be creating other complex functions. Okay, so I'll stop here for the day. Please go through all the functions whatever we have taught and then practice it, right? And then we'll be using the same functions for creating our next level of advanced DAX function.